Good morning, one and all. We will start today's session, second session of day 4, which is on the topic biocomposting as a sustainable approach for wet waste management by the resource person Sri Vasuki Iyengar, founder Soil and Health Limited, Bengaluru. First, I will just give a brief glimpse of his biodata. Uh, He's a waste management, Dr. Sri Vasuki Iyengar is a waste management specialist with 5 years of experience in planning, implementing, and coordinating comprehensive waste management systems that are designed to maximize waste prevention, reuse, and recycling opportunities. He's involved in all stages of a project, for example, establishing a company's waste management goals and objectives, working with employees to help implement waste management policies, and evaluating the success of management plans for bulk generators, that is commercial and residential units, uh, playing a key role in minimizing the impact of waste and protecting the environment. He's also the founder of Soil and Health Solutions, which is a social enterprise. It's installed leaf composters across Bangalore, convinced and implemented composting solutions in individual households, temples, restaurants or resorts, apartments, layouts. Also, a very well-known and educated individual providing consultancy services in solid waste management to communities and commercial establishments. He's also a HR director at iProcess Info, a software product company developing safety applications for oil and natural gas industry. Personally, living sustainably by composting kitchen waste using aerobic and anaerobic methods and preparing and using bioenzyme, a cleaning liquid made from citrus peels. Believe and live by 4R principle, which stands for refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle. He holds an engineering degree in computer science and has served in IT, that is information technology industry, for over 22 years. Uh, People can visit Vasuki's house and office to observe and learn about how to implement and live a sustainable everyday life. Coming to his uh, brief introduction about his company, Soil and Health is a social enterprise based out of Bangalore, India. Started in 2016 by Vasuki Iyengar. Soil and Health offers holistic waste management solutions to various organizations, commercial establishments, households, schools, RWAs, government, etc. Vasuki started Soil and Health Solutions to provide solutions, products, consultancy for the sustainable living space that he personally believes and lives. A lack of suitable solution and vendor promoted him uh, to start the company. Most of the products are result of his immense passion and understanding about this space. Some of his prominent work involves he helped create awareness and help communities adopt to segregation at source. He consults on 4R principles, which is uh, reduce, refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle, and help communities adopt to them. He's a big advocator of bring your own cutlery, BYOC concept in Bangalore. He runs a rent a cutlery initiative in Bangalore. He helped install leaf kitchen waste composters in communities and organizations he worked with. He conduct training programs for all stakeholders involved in segregation at source, 4Rs, and composting. He is associated with civic agencies, resident welfare associations, and citizen volunteers on Swachh Bidi, which means Clean Street campaign in Bangalore. It provides consultancy in choosing appropriate composting products or solutions to manage biodegradables at community level and help overcome challenges. He has worked on innovative concept of Swachhagraha Kalika Kendra, which means Clean Home Learning Center, and a one-stop learning center for sustainable living inaugurated in Bangalore in association with citizen volunteers. He consults about preparing a large scale and application of bioenzymes with various communities. Expert on is an expert on do it yourself concepts for many of the above mentioned solutions. And if you want to get in touch with the speaker, you can find more details available at his website, which is www.soilandhealth.in, and his Facebook pages, uh, Soil and Health. If you browse for Soil and Health, you can join that particular Facebook group. So this is about today's speaker and his company's brief introduction. Thank you, sir. On behalf of Department of Mechanical Engineering, MSRIT, I profusely thank you for accepting our invitation and spending your precious time with us for this particular session that is on biocomposting as a sustainable approach for wet waste management. Thank you, sir. And the virtual stage is all yours.
Okay, thank you for that warm welcome. And let me share my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. And the audio is fine, right?
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay. So today's topic is about do it yourself aerobic composting at both home level and community level. And this is the very important slide. Let me spend few minutes over here. It talks about the organic fertility of Indian soil, which was actually very good in the before the late 70s or before the Green Revolution. And during Green Revolution, which is late 70s and early 80s, chemical fertilizers and pesticides were introduced, and it is the excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides that made our healthy soil to become actually depleted soil. And when we talk about the comparison, the organic matter level was 2 to 3%. In fact, in forest soil, you can actually still find soil which is having the organic matter up to this level. When we talk about organic matter, it is nothing but the dry leaves, the twigs, organic matter from the same tree, animal poop, and even dead animals. All these things used to get composted in a forest, and the current soil that where our farmers are trying to grow is about 0.5%. 2 to 3 million earthworms per acre, and it has depleted down to this number. There is 10 to 15 tons of microorganisms per acre, depleted down to 3 to 5 tons. Now, what is that Bangalore as a city or any particular ULB, urban local body, can do is actually collect all the kitchen waste, convert that into compost. Now, if you, let's say you have 1000 kg of kitchen waste, then it turns into about 1/4. It's about 300 kg, and send that over to the farmer instead of actually we dumping the whole lot of mixed garbage in certain villages around Bangalore and making their life difficult. What happened in Mandur or in Mavallipura, where Bangalore continued to put their kitchen waste, mixed waste in there, it actually the kitchen waste, there is methane that comes out of landfill, which is a greenhouse gas, and then the leachate that gets generated, that is released to the ground, it pollutes the water contamination. And then there is also soil contamination. It's extremely difficult to grow agriculture and crop around the landfill area and the village. So important, we need to actually separate our waste into three categories. There is wet waste, there is dry waste, which is paper, plastic, metal, glass, and then there is reject waste, which is hygienic waste. And when we do separate the waste into three categories, the organic matter or biodegradable waste is about 60 to 65% of the waste. Whether you look at it at a home level or at the city level in India, that is the waste. And that should go back into the soil as the organic matter and enrich the soil. Now, when we actually convert the kitchen waste into compost, it actually becomes something which helps soil retain moisture. Now, solid waste management roundtable is a organization, volunteer organization in Bangalore. And the next speaker, Mr. N.S. Ramakant, is one of the co-founder of SWMRT. And I am a member of SWMRT now for the last 3 years. Launched a program called Swachhagraha, Yes, Clean Home. And its intent is to educate and encourage residents to compost their kitchen waste, grow your own safe vegetables and fruits, eat and be healthy. And it required a whole lot of citizen volunteers, and they were trained and then to go to different areas and then create this awareness. And now we actually have quite a few number of residents in Bengaluru, not only composting but also more number are growing. OTG, organic terrace gardening, is a very big thing in Bangalore, where a lot of people actually grow because our climatic conditions also help a lot. Now, what is the kitchen waste that we generate is vegetable peels, fruit peels, there is used coffee, tea powder, puja flowers, there is leftover food, non-vegetarian waste, uncooked. Uncooked will be in the leftover food anyway. All of this can be composted along with the dry leaves, small twigs, and garden cuttings that we generate. Let's say you have a terrace garden, or you have space on the ground you are growing, or there are some trees on the street. All these things can be composted because that's biodegradable waste. Now, the compost that comes out, the beautiful black gold that we call, can, when added to soil, can help soil retain water. You would have heard of lot of floods all around, basically, whether it's in Bihar, it's in Kerala, or it's in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka. But right after the floods, there is a drought. There is no water, drinking water. The reason is because soil is not able to retain water. And you can use the same compost to grow safe and healthy crop, and then also reduce the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticide. This is the picture of the amaranthus grown, and then there is community garden. People can actually come together. If they don't have space, they can actually take an empty plot and start growing together also. Now, there is simple science and a whole lot of art in composting, and that's what actually we're going to see that in the slides. There are 5 things important for composting, and first one is container, and this is aerobic composting. First one is container. Container can be a mud pot, it can be a plastic container, it can be a metal mesh composter. Second thing is air circulation, oxygen supply. There should be holes made in mud pot or plastic container so that there is air circulation, because this is aerobic composting. Mesh composters, it's mesh because it has a lot of air circulation. So you will see that also today in the demo. Moisture in greens. We term kitchen waste as greens, and the dry leaves, twigs, and also sawdust, cocoa peat as browns. There is 60 to 70% moisture in greens that should be absorbed by browns. And Now, the fourth one is composting microorganisms. Composting microorganisms are in sour buttermilk. It is there in cow dung slurry. It's a very old method. It can help accelerate the composting process. It's also commercially available as effective microorganism solution. Also, Department of National Center for Organic Farming has this very good culture called waste decomposer, and there is also microbial coco peat, where a number of composting microbes are infused in a coco peat block. So this is the fourth thing that is required. The final one is a suitable place for composter. This is where an issue where every home thinks, okay, let composting happen somewhere else, but not in my home, in the compound wall. I don't have space. Let composting happen somewhere else, but not within my apartment complex because I don't have space. When we walk into whether it's a home or a community, we can actually find space. It's more that we should have space in our heart and mind. We should feel that my waste is my responsibility, then we can actually find space. It will not smell bad when you follow the process, which is what I will be talking about. And there should be a protection from rain if it is mud pot or plastic compost bin. If it is a metal mesh composter, it can be in the rain. I'll show you how it works. Now, good air circulation is very important, and here is a very simple DIY solution. There is a 10-liter paint bucket, there is a metal mesh, and then there is a fruit fly plastic cover that's available in the shops. And this makes it a good balance between more air circulation and less air circulation, which is a great combination. But too much air circulation is bad also, because the stuff becomes dry and composting stops. So compost pile should be neither wet nor dry. It should be moist. Now, the kitchen waste is actually, the water absorption. It's called air water balance. Now, we talked about air circulation. That's the air and the water balance. 60 to 70% of moisture is there in the kitchen waste, like human body. And most of the problems that we face in composting is because of the moisture content. And we term kitchen waste as greens. The browns are something that can absorb the moisture from the greens, and that's crushed dry leaves, coco peat, and compost. Now, what is the ratio? By volume, 1:1 is a very easy to remember, and that's what 1:1 ratio. So if you have a 10-liter bucket full of kitchen waste, 10-liter bucket full of browns should be used. Now, what are the degree of absorption? Water absorption varies. Like crushed dry leaves can absorb some moisture, coco peat can absorb more moisture. Your own compost that you generate or animal manure that you buy can absorb some moisture again. So, but it's more, I compare composting to cooking. You get a hang of it after actually keep adding, and then it's so easy that you will find that ratio very easy to follow. Now, the microorganisms, as I mentioned, diluted sour curd or buttermilk is one. Cow dung slurry is another one. Microbial coco peat, this is available from the store. And there are 10 types of composting microbes infused in a coco peat block, and that's commercially available. There is EM solution, effective microorganism solution, EM1. There is waste decomposer liquid from NCOF, as I mentioned. Those are the options. Now, composting can be done, managed at zero cost, provided you put more effort. It's a cost versus effort. If you put more effort, then you can actually go with the DIY, make your own container, use a lot of crushed dry leaves, store some for the rest of the time when you run out of dry leaves. Yeah, use your own more compost. Then sauerkraut and cow dung slurry is an option. Mix it in once in 3 days. That's what is required, where there is more effort. Low cost is where you use microbial coco peat. Oh, let me not deal with cow dung slurry. I'll buy some bricks and then I'm going to use it. Our effective microorganism solution. Reasonable cost is where you purchase a ready-made kit, wherein actually the container and then the microbial coco peat, all these things will come together. Now, layering process, there is a it's a sandwich layering process. It's a, let's say you take a 50-liter drum, bottom bed of up to about 10 inches is very important, that you add lot of dry leaves, crushed and cocoa peat, compost, and then even some folks actually use sawdust and wood chips and wood shavings in Europe and US. It actually takes longer. As long as you are ready to wait, you can use carbon rich sawdust and cocoa peat, wood chips. Now, this is the greens, the kitchen waste, and this is the browns. Are all things mandatory? No. As long as your browns can absorb moisture from greens, you can use only cocoa peat, you can use just only crushed dry leaves. It depends on the air circulation and the water absorption. No food showing up through the holes. That's very important. Otherwise, the flies will come. So make sure that it is you follow this sandwich layering of the process. DIY composters, do it yourself. This is a very good combination of a mud pot and this mesh bin. There is a video link. If you search for my name Vasuki Iyengar in YouTube, you will find this video on how to make this bin and then how to use it also. And that, if you don't have the mud pot, then you can use a plastic container also. Jugaad composting. This is something we did during the lockdown. Obviously, people who could not go to shops and buy containers and things like that. These are actually old grocery dabbas, the buckets. But as long as it is 1 liter to 5 liter, they can use this container. You can compost your kitchen waste. You can grow in the same container also, and that is actually very helps you feel good factor that I manage my own waste and I'm able to grow my own greens. And the video link is also available. It's called Jugaad composting or Dabba composting. Then there is pipe composters in Kerala and coastal Karnataka. A lot of municipalities issued a pair of pipes. Unfortunately, in some of them, they did not make holes. There is 5 holes required in pipe composting, and it is 1 foot into the soil, 4 to 5 feet above the soil, and works effectively. Important thing, if it is a family of 3, you need 6 pipes. That's very important. You shouldn't be overloading only 2 pipes that are given by the municipality and not follow the greens and browns ratio. Here you can use soil. Today I will be showing a demo outside my home. The mesh composter is another very effective aerobic composting method, and it is placed on cement blocks so that the rat and mouse do not enter from the bottom. Also, they cannot enter from the sides also. And you can compost dry leaves, garden cuttings, and kitchen waste in this simple method. There are more sophisticated mesh composters that we made. It evolved over a period of about 2 years, wherein we started actually providing a door below and then also opposite door, 2 doors, because it was difficult to harvest compost. We could actually innovate and then make it easy for the staff, housekeeping staff to and gardening staff to easy for them, because it's very difficult to get them to do the work and it is waste and it is kind of least respected job. So we need to make it easy for staff to operate these kind of things. The This is a very popular one. Again, any bucket that you have, you drill some holes and then use that. A stand helps actually to control entry of mouse, and you can take certain action on that. Maybe the cockroach, lizard, and all those things which gets attracted to this. Now, how many containers do you need? When you're unmarried and single, you need just 2 20-liter bins. When you get married, you need 2 30-liter bins. You have a family, then you need 2 50-liter bins. So it depends on number of persons in the family. And a 4-member family cannot actually just manage with 2 small buckets, right? You generate more. So make sure that you have enough containers and you do not overload the compost bins. And these are some of the other bins available. Composting is an ecosystem. It will have creepy crawlies, worms and insects. If they don't bother you, live and let them live. If they bother you, then only you need to actually take an action. If as long as they are inside the bin, they all work together. Humans actually start imagining that, okay, you know what, I think this will eat that, that will eat this. No, they know how to live together in a ecosystem, and then it is live and thriving. Note that not everything gets composted at the same time, like mango seed, the twigs and leaves, and then even the bones, feather. All these things takes 3 cycles. If each cycle is a 2-month cycle, they you need to pluck it. I mean, pick it up and then toss it into your next bin, and in second round or third round, they will actually get composted. Cut it into smaller pieces. Here is where technology comes into picture, where a shredder or a chopper is for kitchen waste, shredder is actually for dry leaves, can actually make the kitchen waste and dry leaves and all those things into smaller pieces, and that can make it faster. Now, there are 3 conditioning in aerobic composting, as my guru, Dr. Joshi Cherian, he's a microbiologist and an organic farmer, says. There is physical conditioning, that is the particle size. And that actually, smaller the particle size, it is faster, but you cannot actually, shouldn't be grinding it and making it a paste. The second one is actually chemical conditioning, where the ratio of carbon to nitrogen. Carbon is your dry leaves and kitchen waste. Dry leaves and cocoa peat and sawdust. The kitchen waste is your nitrogen, and that's the combination carbon and nitrogen that makes the compost. Third one is biological conditioning, and that biological conditioning is the microorganisms that we are introducing to accelerate the composting process. Do not dump, layer it, and even better, you can also mix it, and then that will give larger area for the microorganisms to work. If the smaller particle sizes and you mix it, it is faster. Now, the next one is actually avoid direct rain falling on the compost bins. And then if you are a beginner, you start composting with vegetable and fruit peels first. Get a hang of it. You add your puja flowers and tea powder, but don't add cooked food until you become comfortable in the first 2 rounds of composting, and then you can start introducing. Now, citrus peels and onion peels, it can be added in aerobic composting, but it shouldn't be added in vermicomposting process. Now, we will actually go into just a little bit of problems, and then we go for a demo. I'll switch to my mobile and then show a demo outside. Yes, in aerobic composting, there can be some white fungus that forms, and the white fungus is actually a good sign. It is actinomycetes, and it is you leave the bin for 2 days, you traveled outside, then there could be fungus. Fungus became very unpopular during the pandemic, but white fungus is good. Continue your process. Bad smell, it occurs when there is a lump of food, a whole fruit or a vegetable or cooked food is added, and that's what actually creates bad smell. Fruit flies and maggots are actually interlinked. Um, so fruit flies will actually, create issues, and if their babies are maggots, you can actually control these 2 things, and I will show the picture. And then leaky bin is because your ratio is off, and the rats and mice is actually gets attracted, and I'll show you picture how to control. So that's white fungus. No worry, nothing. Continue the process. Bad smell is cut it into smaller pieces. Don't add any lump of food, and that creates an anaerobic condition. That's where the smell arises. And then for fruit flies, there is actually camphor in a container with water. If you add a few pieces of camphor, that can repel. The aroma actually helps reduce. A few drops of eucalyptus oil also helps. You need to cover the kitchen waste completely with browns, as per the picture that I mentioned to you. That will reduce. A mosquito net also helps reduce fruit flies, and that in turn actually reduces maggots, the worms. The maggots don't harm you, they don't harm the plants, they don't harm the other animals in the house. It is actually absolutely fine. They do a fantastic job in your compost bin. Maggots from BSF, black soldier fly, are commercially used and introduced so that they can actually do the work. They're a good fish feed and a bird feed, and live and let them live. Now the leaky bin is actually where you need to spread it on a tarpaulin sheet and then add more browns and then fill it back again so that it can be uh, you know so the rat and mouse, you can actually control it with a problem solving technique where you buy a the sand mesh or a chicken mesh and then cover it around the container. Now, there are a lot of myths. It's too much of work, which I will show you in the demo. No, it's not. And then also, yes, it can be done in even smaller places, in a balcony, in a window sill also. It's expensive. No, there are a lot of DIY solutions. So once you have compost, you take 2 portions of the home compost and 1 portion red soil. Grow 5 simple greens and 5 simple vegetables. 5 simple vegetables are tomato, beans, radish, and then okra and brinjal. 5 simple greens: spinach, amaranthus, fenugreek, and then also coriander and dill. So you can actually enrich the kitchen compost with some neem powder and honge powder also. Here I'm going to actually stop the sharing this presentation, and then I'll switch over to a demo. I'm going to switch over to my phone, and please give me just 30 seconds. Okay. Is it visible? I'm sorry, there is a lot of construction noise behind, but I'll try to speak louder. And am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible and
Okay.
the video is clear.
Okay, thank you. So here is, the container. There is a question about smell. Is it going to smell bad? Typically, that happens because it's in a bucket and it's a closed lid and it is an anaerobic condition. That's what makes the kitchen waste smell. As compared to that, here is a container. 5 holes on on the container on the sides, and then in the bottom there is 10 holes, and on the top there is actually 3 holes again. That means there is air circulation. That this is something which you need to do, and it is kept on a bottom plate. And now there is actually greens, which is the kitchen waste that I have here, and then there is whole lot of browns options. There is cardboard box pieces a little bit. We don't encourage you to use cardboard box a lot because it has a recycle value, but you can use crushed dry leaves, cocoa peat, compost, and then that's the the combination. Now we are as part of the demo, we are going to create a bottom bed of crushed dry leaves. Hand crush your dry leaves. You can also put a whole lot of it on a tarpaulin sheet and jog on it, um, so that it gets pressed or crushed. And then add a little bit of cardboard box pieces. Do we need all four of them? No, it's left to what is available at your home. And there is also some compost that you can actually use it as a bottom bed. This is the reusing of the compost. Now finally a little bit of cocoa peat to create that bottom bed that I showed you in the picture. Now add the kitchen waste. Adan kodu. Just a second. Kodu. Muchla tek kodu. We do, you have some leftover food also. So just to show comfort, I'm showing this. And then again, cover it with cocoa peat. That's microbial cocoa peat that is infused with some, composting microorganisms. And then some compost. Again, completely cover the kitchen waste with this and some dry leaves. So it should not be visible. Otherwise, the flies will come and sit on it. Now close the lid and then place it in a rain protected place. That can be your balcony. That can be your balcony. It can be your windowsill. Open the bucket and then show the brick. So there is actually this microbial cocoa peat from Dr. Joshi Cherian, which is BioClean microbial cocoa peat. And it is also used, this is to make it easy for urban families who may not have time, so much time and don't want to use the cow dung. And when you open the wrapper, you will see a brick like this, cocoa peat. It has 10 types of composting microorganisms. Add about 1.5 liter water, then it becomes a powder like this, and the microorganisms also get activated. Now, the container here is part of the Jugaad composting that I mentioned, wherein people can compost in such containers also. Now, here is the PVC pipe, which is 1 foot into the soil, and there is actually, you can see 5 mm holes, and it has an end cap, and it is plugged into the soil. Now we are going to add some kitchen waste into the mesh, into the PVC pipe, and then cover it again with browns. So the process remains the same. Container can be anything. And we also have some cow dung slurry in a bottle. So I wanted to show, a DIY method. Cow dung slurry is added on top of the kitchen waste. In this method, you can use some soil also. The red soil is used and covered. But as long as you use 1:1 ratio of greens and browns, that works. Now, the next one is, I will show some of the other containers like this mesh bin, and there it's set up on a set of cement blocks, and it is actually where all my garden cuttings and kitchen waste also goes. It doesn't smell when you follow the process. It's covered with a jute sack. Here is another DIY solution, a cement ring with a pipe composter that can actually help you compost and you also grow some greens around it. So now we actually will go outside to see a street level or lane composter, wherein we have not only compost our own kitchen waste, we also can compost 4 to 6 homes at their kitchen waste. Here is the waste from my neighbor, and here is the kid who is 8 years old, and he's in 3rd grade. He's adding his kitchen waste into it. There is also they cover it with cocoa peat, and there is also some fruit peels that he has brought from home that he is adding. Now, finally, cover it again with your own compost. This compost is actually from Koramangala Kora 3B leaf compost, and then cover it with a good layer of garden leaves. So encourage and engage your community, to do composting. And here is a very simple PVC coated mesh that's used for storing the garden cuttings. Because most people will say we get dry leaves only in the 3 months, and after that there is no dry leaves. That is not true. You will have compost. And here is the Swachagraha banner. If you want to look at solutions from about 10 or 12 different companies, it's available on their website. And what do you do with the compost that you generate? 50% of the compost is reused. Another 50% is, it is used in gardening to grow your own greens. There is simple DIY solutions for gardening also. Half-cut syntax tanks. There is actually the, your own some paint buckets. Here is a very nice raised bed. This is a very popular one in America. It's easy to walk around, maintain your garden, and grow your own simple greens and vegetables in a raised bed method. And a whole lot of colocasia that's grown. You can actually grow your own, apart from that, gourds and papaya and all these kind of things. So that's a quick tour, and there is a mud pot also that is actually also an option to grow, as I mentioned. I'll just quickly go to the terrace where the pipe composter is in a planter or in a tub, plastic tub, where composting is happening, and greens, lush greens are grown here, the spinach, and then there is more brinjal that is grown, and curry patta, and more chilies, and more broad beans and things like that are grown. So living sustainably means managing, composting your own kitchen waste and then growing at your home. So I'm just going to go back to inside home and then just talk about community composting at a larger scale. Just a second. Okay. Sorry for that background noise. It's unexpected from Mantri Builders. Okay, so that's about the home composting. Now we are actually move on to community composting. When we talk about community composting, it can be at a apartment level, villa property, lane composters at a street. You adopt 8 homes that are on your street, also at temples, schools, and institutions. Very important, sustainability team are a set of like-minded people should come together to make this happen. It cannot be actually one person who is trying to drive. It has to be actually a set of people who come together. And what do we look at when I walk into an apartment or a villa property or an institution? Source segregation. Very important that the whether it is actually the person who is a housekeeping person or the professor or the HOD, everyone should make sure that they have they actually separate their waste into 3 categories. So it's not 2 category, wet and dry only. Always keep in mind it is 3 categories, and it should happen from everyone. They have to do it themselves as citizens of this country, and in as humans we should be actually separating, not just, oh, you know what, there is no other bin, so let me put this banana peel into the same dustbin where the paper is kept. No. Second is mandatory door-to-door segregation in apartment is important. That's when actually you would know who has mixed it. And you can also send a circular, tell them that there'll be a fine of 500 rupees if you don't separate the waste and give it, because it is a law in Bangalore, in Karnataka. Source segregation is a law, and it is a three-way segregation, not two-way. Everyone is like fond of talking about, okay, two-way segregation, but it is three-way. Very good supervision by housekeeping. This is very important. Random checks by the green team. So you have to, like any other process, there has to be a peer review, a process, random check by people whether they are actually following the ratio. Air circulation is very important. Many DLF and Mantri and some of the early buildings that were built, they created a composting room in the basement, in the center of the basement, where there is no air circulation, there are no windows, because they are worried that the smell will emanate out of it. If you already think that it is going to smell, it will smell if you don't follow the process. So decentralize your composite system in more than one space. Let's say there are 6 blocks. Try to do composting for each block at each place. Don't try to hide it in behind the institution where there is no human being goes there except for the housekeeping person. How will he maintain? Now it should be a proud thing about the community that we are actually managing our own waste and we are creating this beautiful black gold. Now, separate storage for dry waste and reject waste away from composters, because you cannot actually identify and then say, oh, you know what, the rat and mouse came. Is it for unclean dry waste or some diapers that are kept there, or is it for the composting? It's problem solving, right? So, separate dry waste and reject waste away from the composters. Do not overload the compost bin. That's what made pipe composting fail in many homes, because they did not understand that they need actually 6 pipes instead of 2 pipes that the municipality provided, right? So make sure that you have the right number. Like let's say there are 8 composters, large composters are required, but the management committee says, can you run it with only 6? And the vendor may underquote. That's what happened with many builders. They actually put a 60 kg or 80 kg namesake composting system in apartments, and they get an OC, and then later on 200 homes or 300 homes, that it cannot scale up. So follow the greens to browns ratio. Mixing and layering process is always better. And then composting cannot happen in 24 hours. Humans are very fascinated about machines, and they actually kind of fall for beautiful videos made, or they circulate a video made in Singapore or in Europe or US, saying that, oh, here is a wonderful machine, it seems it can do composting in 24 hours. No, it's actually what comes out of it is burnt carbon. And you chop it, you grind it, you heat it up, you take the life out of the whole thing, and then you are actually, what is left with you is burnt ash. When you put it around a plant, it either results in a stunted growth or it will actually burn the plant. So important that it should be live and thriving with microorganisms. Supervision is the key, and composting is not self-sustainable. Any apartment that we walk in, they say, can we sell the compost? And that pays towards the salary of the staff involved, and also it buys the cocoa peat that is needed. No, because unfortunately the support price is at 1.5 rupees per kg. It may go up to about 3 rupees or 5 rupees, but it is actually a user fee based operation, and it can fetch about 20% of the consumable price, but it is not self-sustainable. And any apartment should do a waste audit. Even I encourage people to do waste audit at your home also. Then you will know how much you generate for 10 consecutive days. Take an average for, measure it every day, take an average, then you will know that it is actually not 500 grams or 300 grams that you assume that, the amount of wet waste that you generate. What urban families generate is 800 grams to 1 kg. And during pandemic, they are not eating out, they are actually cooking every day. And the wet waste amount has increased a lot at community level. So dry waste goes into the blue bin. um, Wet waste goes into the green bin, the reject waste goes into the red bin, and then there is garden waste that a community generates. There is e-waste. It should be a separate once a month or once in 3 month collection, and it should go to a good e-waste recycling place. There is also C&D. This is a modern day construction and demolition debris that can also create lot of issue. In Bangalore, we have India's first Swachhagraha composting learning center in HSR layout. Citizens can go in there. It's near the BDA complex in HSR layout behind the HP petrol bunk. It's a 1.5 acre. And there we teach about home composting, community composting, and we have live models of both home composting and community composting. 12 vendors for home composting, 12 vendors for community composting. Apartment communities can go and choose which one is suitable for them. And then vermicomposting tanks are there where we actually manage it with earthworms, and very good scalable model that is there. There's a chopper with a conveyor belt that makes it easy to chop garden cuttings and kitchen waste together. And then host of DIY solutions are there, and we are at about 500 kg per day now, but a new vermicomposting tanks, extended vermicomposting tanks, will take us up to 1000 kg. These are simple aerobic composting bins of 220 liters, and again the mesh that you see avoids rats entering there. And then there is also, this is at Rainbow Drive, opposite to Wipro corporate office. Very simple DIY solution that's used. Here are a host of so vendor solutions. Bangalore is very blessed with a lot of vendors. Many people from other parts of the country, India, come, and then they are actually amazed at the number of people who are in this domain. It's the same thing with even Kerala and Pune also. They are actually doing a wonderful job. And waste, this is for restricted air circulation composters. It is aerobic, but there are a lot of apartments who don't have space. They go for such containers. This is a vertical one, stack. so that you can use more vertical space than the horizontal space. These are more aerobic and more suitable for villa properties and institutions and schools. These models are available from vendors. And the last two are from my company, Soil and Health. It's Ghana and Shishira. And then there is community composting, big mesh composter. This picture looks very similar to the previous one I showed you at home, because the process remains the same: alternate layers of greens and browns, and water absorption, air circulation. Now the compost, the beautiful black gold, is harvested through this kind of mesh composters. It's a DIY solution. The community participates, the residents actually, the supervisor is there when they are doing. You need to actually pat their back, encourage them, incentivize them to do this work. And healthy things grow. Pumpkin and papaya and cucumbers, creepers grow. It shows the health of the compost. And community gardening, where people come together to grow together. Temples. Mr. Ramakant is here. He's the next speaker. He'll be speaking about zero waste communities. And so the temple, we started about 5 years ago. We got together, we harvested beautiful black gold out of the divine flowers. We called it divine compost. And then it can, obviously, in the name of God, it can sell at a higher price also. And so the more temples, in about 40-50 temples, have these composters. And after some time, we found that the pulling compost through these doors is very labor intensive. We split that vertically and then fixed it with nut and bolt. And then when they need to harvest, they can actually remove one half and then pull it out. So it's nothing but a heap, and it is a heap that is protected from rat and mouse. If you protect it from rat and mouse, then there is no snake coming in, which most people are afraid of. Lane composters, you just saw one in front of my home. About 6 to 8 homes can add their waste into this composter. And there is FRP, fiber reinforced plastic container, that's there with minimum air circulation. There are more mesh composters. Yes, they do rust. Once in 3 years, it requires an epoxy painting. You can actually go for aluminum or steel, but it costs more money. As long as cost justified, it can be used. And then here are my neighbors who actually contribute to my leaf composter. We actually brag about it. We talk about it on social media. And this is a government school where midday meal is distributed, and that is being composted also at a nearby government school. And we have these composters in Kapan Park and Lal Bagh, and it's not just for leaves, by the way. Again, it is for kitchen waste also. And keep it simple, very important. Yes, you can introduce a chopper and a shredder, provided there is a good supervision. Lead by example. We have these things right in front of my home, and then that's what I use to educate and create awareness. One can earn a living out of waste also. Today, it's something that's pretty common in Europe and America. We can actually, but we don't want to promote the 24-hour composter machines. We want to manage separated, segregated waste, not mixed waste. And then, yes, with technology, it can be on conveyor belt, it is tossed around. Why? When actually each human and a citizen should be actually separating their own waste. We need a heart and mind. We need space in heart and mind to compost at home. And it is possible. Positive thinking. That's how Bangalore has started with just 30 rupees that it takes to send the compost to kitchen waste to where we are. Now Bangalore can actually, they say, we can actually spend up to 200 to 300 rupees for waste management in an environment friendly manner. So be consultative. We don't impose, okay, this is the container that's going to work for you, use this only. No, we actually have given option 1, option 2, option 3. You decide which one is required. Instead of blaming the civic officials and politicians, work together. That's how out of 198 wards, about 20 or 30 wards are doing well because of citizen volunteers collaborating and working with politicians and civic officials to make this happen. And these are some of the websites: tubin1bag.in, swmrt.com, swachhagraha.in. There's a wonderful book called Trashonomics for children. And then that's it. That's the end of my presentation.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session. We came to know about a lot of initiatives which have been taken and also inspired others to take up the same. I request dear participants, if you have any doubts or inquiries, you can ask the speaker.
When to use dabba composter and when to use pipe composter and when to use mesh composter?
It's actually based on the area available, space available. Dabba composting is more suitable when, let's say, it's an apartment in Mumbai or in MG Road, and they have only space. It's a extension of a window, and they need to actually manage their waste. That's when Jugaad composting will come into the picture. When you have space on the ground, in pipe composting, I don't actually harvest the compost at all. I allow that to compost there, and when I water the plant, I water it through the pipe, and the nutrition will go into the soil, it will go into the tree that is next to it. So it depends on the area.
Okay. Thank you.
So my question is, while using the pipe composter, how to remove the compost out of it?
Yeah, we do pull it out, and then remove the compost, using a spatula or, that kind of a
So
thing.
the entire
Yeah.
pipe should be removed.
The entire pipe should be removed. As I just mentioned, I don't remove the pipe. I water it through the pipe. And as you know, if it is 100 kg, you get only 25 kg compost, right? And it will actually continue to further degrade and decompose. And the nutritious liquid, because I'm watering through, it will actually flow into the soil. And you can actually restart the process again.
Okay, sir. There's a question from Shobha US. Is there an alternative for coco peat?
Yeah. As I mentioned, there are options where, let's say, you are a family generating 1 kg of kitchen waste per day, and in 30 days, you get 30 kg of kitchen waste. That results in 10 kg of compost. Out of 10 kg, 5 kg or 6 kg you will reuse. Your alternative to coco peat is your own compost. So you can buy perlite from from the shop. You can actually buy some animal manure, the cow dung, horse dung, sheep and goat dung is an alternative to coco peat. But the water absorption by coco peat is more, and it's not, we are only advising you to use some amount of coco peat, that but not the whole lot. And wood chips, wood shavings, and sawdust from a timber yard, not from the plywood, because plywood is chemically treated. Sawdust, wood chips, wood shavings are used extensively in America and Europe. They do use it, so that's an option. Oil seed cakes. from a industry. Let's say it's a groundnut cake. That is also something that can be used. Cardboard box pieces that I showed in the demo, that's plain cardboard box piece, not the Boost and Horlicks with so much of lamination. That's not the one I'm talking about. Plain cardboard box pieces. Some people do use, if they have the habit of using tissues and paper towels, they can use that one also, because there is no print. Why am I not recommending newspaper? Because it's printed with lead ink, and that can actually cause more contamination. So we recommend that you use plain cardboard boxes, or crushed dry leaves. Store the crushed dry leaves.
There's a question from Samir Nimkar. What is the cost of microbes used in composting?
It depends. The microbes.
One brick of cocoa peat.
Yeah, it's actually 150 rupees for a 1 kg block. And it's available on swachhagraha.in. That's the website. You can actually see the option, and then you can also visit my website, which is soilandhealth.in. We do send it through Teleport or Dunzo in Bangalore. For outside, we send it through India Post Office. Swachhagraha.in is not double H, it's single H. Let me just quickly show some websites, if you don't mind. Just a second. So as you can see, this is the YouTube channel. It's called Swachhagraha YouTube channel. There are a lot of very simple videos on home composting and community composting. We do have diaries, home composting diaries, where people from a particular area like KR Puram, from Nagarbavi, from Sadashiv Nagar, we have actually made videos who are all composting. There is a composting group, there is a OTG, terrace gardening group. You can actually join them, join those groups. This is Swachhagraha SWMRT YouTube channel. There is we are active on Instagram, SWMRT Bengaluru. That's the Insta handle. And then there is also Facebook page. It's also called Swachhagraha. And my own personal one is vasuki.composting on Instagram. So that's me, the DIY guy, do it yourself. That's what we actually promote. And this is the Insta handle. And I have a Facebook page, and we are on Twitter. We bombard everywhere with information about sustainable living. And the one concept that the host actually mentioned about BYOC, bring your own cutlery. In my laptop bag, I carry my own box with 2 plates, 2 spoons, 2 tumblers. And the next speaker, Mr. Ramakant, also he also does the same thing. We say refuse, no to paper cup or mineral water bottle, anything. Even when people invite us to speak at a particular location in an auditorium, we upfront tell them no garlands, no mementos. Please do not put any this artificial one-time use garland actually. So it's a very important thing to say that upfront, and also tell them twice, thrice, because it has to reach that particular corner where you don't know when actually the paper cup will appear with hot liquid in it, and it has a plastic layer, it has paraffin wax, it's very bad. So please do visit Instagram page, Facebook page, my own YouTube channel, Vasuki Iyengar. You can see a lot of different videos on sustainable living.
Sir, could you please share some light on 4R principle?
Sure. So There's one more PPT. Okay, so we use this PPT for waste management program, and that's the picture of a landfill. Unfortunately, there is a very nice video on YouTube called Mandur Hell on Earth. It's made by Deccan Herald. If you, when you have time, please do watch it on YouTube. How Bangalore actually dumped its waste in Mandur and created such huge heaps and made living miserable for 40 families which are not able to leave the village, not able to live also. Those are the, you know, plastic cover. Our own Raja Kalwe in Bangalore's pride is filled with paper cups. And then I think it's one person thought, what more will happen with my one more paper cup? But that's what you see here, right? And less privileged people and animals are facing the issue where cows are actually eating all that. The straw being pulled through the nose of a tortoise is another one. And then solution is the segregation and refuse. Say no to single-use disposables like paper bags, paper cups, straws, mineral water bottle, plastic spoons. All these things actually we have to really say no. Even in a five-star hotel where you think it gets recycled, recycling is a myth. You want to watch a video demystifying dry waste. It's on SWMRT YouTube channel. Only 9% of the waste is actually getting recycled at a world level actually. So really that higher micron does gets recycled, that's not actually totally true. It's very less chance. Also, let's say you generated some dry waste, you ordered Swiggy, it arrived. Please make sure that you clean it completely. There is no chutney, there is no sambar, there is no the biryani left in that one. Wash it as good as your own vessel, dry it, and then put it into the dry waste bin. That's when actually there is a higher chance of that getting um recycled. Last month was Plastic Free July, and we have a series of posts on SWMRT, the Facebook and also Instagram. We talked about clean and dry plastic. That's what is very important. Now, reduce is an option, obviously. So there is a very beautiful event that was happening, but unfortunately because of the pandemic, it's called Ragi Kana on Banerghatta Road, and the foot mat is plastic what is available in Jainagar shopping complex. You want actually the coir one, it's available there, right? We need to actually go beyond and think what is that I can, how did we, our parents and grandparents lived 30 40 years ago without plastic. Those things are still available, there are alternatives. It's only thing is that we need to actually make that effort to go find it. Reuse, recycle, my waste is my responsibility. Bangalore has 120 dry waste collection centers, and it's important that we make sure that it is clean and dry. Don't give it to the garbage vendor who is coming in front of the house. Hand it over at the dry waste collection center. Ramakant sir is going to actually talk about that one. E-waste, poison. There are e-waste drop boxes from Enside, ENSYDE, Enside. Amazing work that they have done. Manuel is a dear friend, and they have these boxes at different locations. Please do look at that. Uh, 50% of the garbage is reduced if you ditch these four. The paper cups or coffee cups, there is mineral water bottle, there is also straw, there is a plastic bag, right? And this is BYOC, where we actually drink coconut water without the straw, and we put our picture everywhere, basically talking about it, right? We need to talk more and more about this. And then there is also cake that you can buy from the nearby bakery, and then you can actually not use the all the things that comes by default, right? You, if you don't tell them, there will be a candle, there will be a knife, plastic knife, and then there will be a very shiny cover, and gift wrapping is another unfortunate thing. So rent a cutlery green utsav. It's decorations in your birthday parties and events that you can make it green. So that's about dry waste.
Uh,
Does this microbe affect human health?
No, sir. At least about 95% of the microorganisms that are there actually study. So they don't actually affect. They help you. It's there in your gut. In our gut, it helps us digest our food, right? But a microorganisms like human being, if they happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, that's what actually can cause an issue. Now, typically in composting, in community composting, the temperature goes up from 55 degree to 70 degree. It's called sanitation temperature. And that's where actually the bad microorganisms, the coliform, E. coli, and also the parasites, they get killed in that temperature. Also, if there is a worry, use a glove and a mask. Now that with the pandemic, we are so used to wearing mask. Before that, we were not used to. Use a gloves and mask, and then handle the compost if there is a worry.
And we have to use gloves also.
That's what I don't use a glove. I use it. I do it myself, and there is no issue because it's my own home compost, home kitchen waste, right? And I have no issue in touching that one, even after it is there in the bin, because it's generated from my own home. I don't use, but if there is a concern, there is a issue, then you can wear gloves.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, you showed us about implementing composting solutions in individual households as well as temples. I just wanted to request you if you're about your company implementing any solutions to restaurants or resorts or apartments or layouts. Or do you
Yes.
have any pictures or videos of it? You can please show it to the participants.
Sure, sure. So in YouTube, let me go to my own account. We have done this for Go Native. Go Native is a restaurant chain, about 5 branches in Bangalore. Mr. Prashant Prakash is a is a person behind the whole initiative. He's very concerned about waste, and what happens at the Go Native restaurant is the waste actually gets filled into in drums in an anaerobic condition, which is called bokashi. Bokashi means fermentation, and that is the method used in covering the kitchen waste. And then the waste actually travels to different to a resort called Discovery Village. Discovery Village is one is near Kanakpura, one is near Nandi Hills, and one is in Kabini. And so the waste of the resort also gets composted. The reason why we have done this is because at the restaurant in Jainagar, they don't have space. So they fill their waste, send it to the resort. Resort has space, and at the resort actually it all gets composted together, and the compost is used within the landscape area of the resort. So in my YouTube channel, this is my YouTube channel, Vasu Iyengar, and there are actually videos, lot of videos. Out of that, there is a video on Go Native Restaurant and the Discovery Village Resort, how it is done. Also, most videos in my YouTube channel connects the three things: composting of kitchen waste, grow your own greens and vegetables, and then cook, because cooking is very glamorous, right? And we show how to make kashaya, how to make ridgegard peels chutney. We are actually going back to how we lived earlier, where we would generate less waste because some of the peels were used in cooking. So whether it is ridgegard, it is actually about sweet potatoes, how it is used, and how to enjoy the vegetables and greens grown on your own terrace. So on last Sunday of every month, we do an Instagram live, because nowadays the traction and response in Instagram is very good. We talk about compost garden to table or garden to plate program, wherein you pluck something from your garden, your own garden, not from your neighbors, and then make a dish out of it, and then eat while we talk about the tips on gardening. So that's the program that happens on every last Sunday of the month. So yes, please do visit the YouTube channel and then look at it. Yeah.
What to do about non-veg kitchen waste?
So that's where the microbial coco peat or effective microorganism solution is used in composting of non-vegetarian waste, both cooked and uncooked. Let's say you clean a fish, you can actually compost the remnants of that fish also, as well as if there is any leftover. There is a concern in the industry that or on internet there is material that discourages you from using composting of non-vegetarian waste, or even sometimes the animal poop. The reason worry is actually about parasites and the E. coli or coliform. But wood ash is used in dry toilets. Similarly, wood ash can be used in composting of, dog poop. We have done this project in Cuba, which is a NGO which manages abandoned, dogs, and then also allows people to adopt more of, abandoned dogs, rather than actually buying new puppies, which are actually very, very bad, in the industry. So there is actually about 30 to 50 kg of dog poop every day, and we use a lot of, wood ash to compost it. The worry or the issue is actually that if you use the compost from non-vegetarian waste in to grow your own food, whether it is fruits and vegetables, the parasites and this thing will not go into the fruit, and you will fall sick if you eat that. That's a very bad thing, but unfortunately the material is available. So not to worry. The sanitation temperature, as I mentioned, 55 degree to 70 degree is the sanitation temperature. If you are able to actually manage it in that temperature, all these things will not be an issue.
Okay, thank you.
50 kgs of kitchen waste per day. Sustainability is the key goal of Go Native restaurant owned by Discovery Village Resort. To start with, a 5 kg regular coco peat block is soaked in 10 liters of water for about 3 to 4 hours. 2 to 3 handful of powdered coco peat is added in the bottom of the 30-liter drum to create a bottom bed. Add about 5 to 8 kgs of kitchen waste and sprinkle about 10 to 15 grams of bokashi bran. Regular coco peat and bokashi bran are the two main ingredients used in this process. Again, add another 5 to 8 kgs of kitchen waste and sprinkle 10 to 15 grams of bokashi bran. Repeat this process for about 25 to 30 kgs of kitchen waste. Kitchen waste at the restaurant is stored in such several 30-liter drums using bokashi methods for fermentation. In the end, add another 3 to 4 handful of coco peat to cover the waste. Press it and compact it. Close the lid, lock it, and the bins are stacked in a corner of the restaurant. Currently, they fill 5 to 8 drums per day. Once or twice a week, these drums are loaded onto a truck and transported to Discovery Village Resort, located 15 to 30 kilometers away from Go Native restaurants. Thank you for watching part 1. Please also watch part 2 on how to generate good quality compost at Discovery Village Resort. Welcome to Soil and Health and Discovery Village Resort, part 2. In this video, we will show you how fermented waste from Go Native restaurants is processed to generate good quality compost at Discovery Village Resort. The fermented waste in 30-liter drums arrive in a truck at the Discovery Village Resort. These drums are unloaded and kept under the shade of a tree. Trained staff members at the resort start the process of layering fermented pickle. To begin with, they spread a tarpaulin sheet on the ground and add a layer of dry leaves and sprinkle 2 handfuls of compost and then microbial coco peat. They empty the contents of a 30-liter drum filled with bokashi pickle. Using a rake, they spread this bokashi pickle and add 2 handfuls of microbial coco peat, and compost and some dry leaves. By volume, 1 30-liter bokashi pickle requires 3 portions of mixture of microbial coco peat, compost and dry leaves. They add this mixture into the Shishira mesh composter. They repeat this process for every drum. Kitchen waste, microbial coco peat and dry leaves can also be added directly into the Shishira mesh composter for fermentation. In a month, around 10,000 kgs or 10 tons of kitchen waste is generated across all branches of Discovery Village and Go Native restaurants. These are stored in 470 bins. 21 Shishira mesh composters are used for composting. It takes about 3 to 4 months for compost to be ready. Every month, around 3,000 kgs or 3 tons of compost is harvested. Discovery Village also produces around 50 to 100 kgs of kitchen waste every day. This fresh kitchen waste is also added to the composter on a daily basis for fermentation. The harvested compost is used in their garden 50% and the remaining 50% is used for next round for processing kitchen waste.
Thank you, sir. We thank you on behalf of Department of Mechanical Engineering, MSRIT, for delivering an inspirational talk on biocomposting and also DIY, do it yourself, as well as for BYOC, which is bring your own cutlery. Thank you, sir, for getting us know these good initiatives by our own people, Bangaloreans. Thank you, sir, once again.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for hosting me. Please do visit, and there are two things out of after this whole series of the program. One, we would like to really we would like to see the action. And the easy one action, first action is say no to single-use disposables and carry your own cutlery. That whether you would like to do that or not, but please refuse any paper cup. It's almost like, if let's say you did not carry your wallet, you are actually you'll not be able to buy that tea, right? And consider that if they are serving tea in paper cups, you think that you don't have money, so you will not be able to use. So definitely refuse. And there are many things that one can actually do with respect to, if you are having a wedding or a birthday party, you will become very conscious to actually look at, okay, how many balloons are used and where will these balloons will go. I'm not saying don't use it, but again, there are alternatives available. The decorations can be with flowers, it can be with the traditional mango leaves, and there are so many ways that you can become so creative in doing it and also engage children. There's a very nice book called Trashonomics book. It's 150 rupees. It's available on pothys.com. It talks about how to live sustainably, how to deal with trash. There is one for liquid waste also. So please do look at taking a pledge and then say no to single-use disposables. And then the second thing is obviously adopting composting at home. So thank you very much for hosting me.
Thank you, sir. We look forward for your talk in such future events, sir.